Hello, everyone. This is Empress Pamela. Welcome to this edition of Cancer Chronicles, which I'm thinking I might evolve into Healing Chronicles. So, it's been 14 months since I had cancer surgery. So I had a complete and total hysterectomy in response to my endometrial cancer diagnosis, which I received December 27th, 2021. So January 10th, 2022, barely, 2 weeks later, real quick, I had my cancer surgery. I didn't even give myself time to think about it. If you want to get more information on my journey and get real-time, authentic reaction and emotion, you can check out my playlist called Cancer Chronicles. So, this past week, March 8th, I had my second surveillance visit. So for me, for the next, now it's 4 years. So every 6 months from surgery. So it was supposed to be every 6 months for 5 years, I have a surveillance visit. So the way I looked at it now is that, okay, I've got 10 surveillance visits to get through. And I just finished my second one. So my next one, my third surveillance visit, will be in September 11th, 2023. So we're in March. It's March 12th. I'm taking my Sunday bath. It's Sunday. I'm showing you some of the products that I use. I don't want you to see me in my bath. But trust and believe, I can show you my pedicure, which I got like a teal green, which I am enjoying. It's different. It's not the norm of what I would normally get. So, and this like minty green on my hands, a little bit different. Okay. Anyway, pampering, that's part of healing. So yeah, this week I had my surveillance visit, and it was only today that I had the courage to read the notes, the doctor's notes, and yeah, I got a lot to work on, let me tell you. As far as the vagina and all that stuff, it looks good. There's no complications, there's no pain, there's no bleeding, there's nothing. But as from an overall health perspective, that's the main concern. And I have to pat myself on the back because I overcame a lot of fear and obstacles with my health just in the recent month, let's say. I can never do long story short. So basically my whole life from the time I was 11, and my grandmother died of breast cancer. This was in March 1976. She died of breast cancer, and it was a really traumatic and shocking thing because it was my first dealing with death. And my grandmother, whom I called my Baba, we have a Czechoslovakian background, but Baba is like a term of endearment for a grandmother. So she was always kind of like a plump, cheerful type of grandmother who was always cooking or knitting or things like that. And then I hadn't seen her because she was ill. Of course, I was 10 or 11 years old, didn't really know what was going on. And then then she passed away, and I went to the wake and I saw the open coffin, and it wasn't, to me, it didn't even look like her. It looked like a skeleton. She was probably 90 pounds or something. So going from like a size, 14 or 16 at the time to less than 100 pounds, it was very traumatic to see what cancer can do, right? And so from that point, I feel like, I don't want to say it contributed to my weight issues, but it was almost like at one point in the last couple of years, I discovered, or I've contemplated, that part of my addiction to food and trying to hide myself from attention by overeating and becoming a less desirable obese woman almost my whole life, was also a type of protection from, if I were diagnosed a disease, I would live longer because I'd have more fat to lose. I know this sounds crazy, but there's something in that. Like, being overweight will help you live longer if you have cancer because there's more fat to dissolve. It's going to take longer to become a skeleton like my grandmother ended up being. I know it's really kind of a mental mindfuck story, right? But I kind of contemplated that as part of my addiction to food to be a source of protection or shield, okay, against attention from men, but also against disease or death. Like, strange. Anyway, so I overcame my fear. I had a mammogram probably in my late 40s, and I'm 57. So about 10 years ago. And I did it. Then it came back normal. There was nothing, no red flags or whatever. But my gynecologist in my first surveillance visit had encouraged me to get an updated mammogram, which I did like 2 weeks ago, the end of February. And I just went in there, like, it's weird because I really don't give a fuck anymore. I don't wear a bra. I don't really, like, almost like removed from my body. Like, I just don't, it's how I look is how I look. So it's like a part of acceptance. I don't put makeup on anymore. I do put moisturizer on. I do try to take care of my skin, but I'm not out there glamming it up, dressing up fancy to impress anybody. I dress for comfort. Sometimes I dress for personal expression or whatever. Just, I do what I do. I follow what my body is asking me for the most part, but I need to pay more attention to that. Anyway, bottom line, I got my mammogram. Came back normal. Yes, check that off the list. Had my second surveillance visit, talked about some of my fears because even though I was stage 1 endometrial cancer, once you have cancer, you have a probability of other types of cancer. And I was freaking myself out about that, concerned about that. Also, I still haven't gone back to swimming because of my fear of public swimming and the bacteria and if it's going to affect the health of my vagina. I know it's crazy, but I do worry about that. That's the honest truth. And I got some reassurance. What else? So I've got to gear up psychologically to get back in the water. The other thing in my report was, well, my blood pressure has gone up, and my weight has gone up. And, right now, since April, thankfully I got a job where I work from home. Doesn't pay a lot. I am sedentary for like 9 hours. Yes, I get 15-minute breaks, but it's barely enough to get up, go to the bathroom, maybe grab a snack or something and chill out for 5 minutes, stretch my legs, and then get back to work. And I feel like that's really fucking killed my health. Back to where I used to work at this corporation and I was sitting for like 8 hours a day or whatever. And that involved a commute too, which really wasted away all my time. You know how it is when you work. And I became really super unhealthy. Well, I feel like I'm on that same track again. I gained a lot of weight back. Haven't been on keto. Tried to start keto again. Okay, because I talked about it, and back in 2018 when I started, and it was so it was difficult the first week because you go through the keto flu and you basically are going through withdrawal symptoms from carbohydrates and sugar and all the things that were fucking killing your body and exacerbating your pain and your inflammation and swelling and all that. So once you get through the first week of keto flu, the beginning of it, and then you get so much energy, and it was like amazing the transformation that I went through, where like on day 10 after I began keto back in 2018, I was calling my friend saying, I want to go swimming. I got to do some exercise. Do you want to go with me? And then we built up where I was going swimming twice a week for like 2 years before the pandemic. And I was at the point where I was like swimming laps, not against my 28-year-old son, but basically swimming with him. Like, you know, I knew I couldn't keep up with him, but was in there actually swimming and was really the most energetic I had been in like 20 years. It was amazing. And I had lost weight, yes, but I feel like for me, keto is more about gaining strength, gaining energy, alleviating some symptoms of like arthritis in my knees, inflammation, swelling, all that kind of stuff. It was really good. It really helped me. Then the pandemic hit. I couldn't go swimming, wouldn't go swimming, psychologically worried about, we didn't know what the hell the effects were, all that stuff. Kind of got brainwashed with a lot of that, or whatever, programmed with it, just like a lot of other people. And shit went down, whatever. And spring of, I want to say 2021, I separated from my husband and went to the beach for 3 months. I had lost a lot of weight. I was walking still. I was following keto, and then I had to come back home, and that's where I kind of loosened the grip on keto, and I wasn't feeling great, and that's when I started going to doctors, and then finally got the diagnosis in December. So since probably, let's say September of 2021, I have not been like dedicated keto, honestly. So like it took time to unravel and it's pretty much unraveled all the benefits that I had built up through keto. And I'm back to knee pain, I'm high blood pressure, gained a lot of weight back, pretty miserable. I'm behind the desk of a job that doesn't pay a lot, is stressful, the other stuff. So I tried to go back on keto like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I was just fucking miserable. And it's like my whole life I've been fighting this freaking fatness, obesity, chubby, whatever, and it's exhausting. So I've been looking into the Mediterranean diet. I don't know if that's really going to help me because I have insulin resistance. So carbs, turn into fat for me. I have to use my fat for energy, not carbs, whatever. Anyway, I'm still trying to figure it out. I've been using my fitness app, my Fitness Pal, something like that, Fitness Pal, to help kind of control my consumption of food and look at the caloric intake. So even if I eat a bagel, I know it's 310 calories, and that blows a lot of my calories. I'm putting like 1,600 a day I'm shooting for, but I always go over it. I go probably 2,100 calories easily a day. but I shoot for 16. So I do have that. Anyway, what's the other health issues? So I'm really trying to address these health issues that have been plaguing me for a long ass time. And I went to the eye doctor as well because my vision is so bad that I can't drive at night. None of my prescriptions work. It's been, actually, I think she didn't even have records. She only keeps records for like 2 or 3 years. So when I went there, she didn't really have something else to compare to because it's been that long. But I have cataracts and I'm only 57, and it's like young onset cataracts. And what causes cataracts? Well, steroid use, which I never use steroids to the best of my knowledge, but being in the sun or not wearing sunglasses. And I went to school in Tampa back in the 80s, and I probably never wore sunglasses. So that's where I'm kind of attributing the early cataract onset for me. So I'm waiting for my updated prescriptions, but my vision is so bad. Like, trying to read those charts was a fucking joke, to be honest with you. So bottom line, don't put off your eyesight. It's very important. Because I was even contemplating, what the hell would I do as a blind person? I rely on sight so much. And please take care of that. So please take care of your tits, your mammograms. Get that shit taken care of. Get your vagina taken care of. Get your eyes taken care of. The next thing on my list is my hearing, because my hearing has gone really drastically down. I normally was blasting music, even whether it's in my car, on my stereo growing up, with earbuds or earphones, forget it. Like, I have to blast music. I love music so much, but my hearing is now impaired. So my next thing to tackle is getting a hearing test, getting my hearing checked. I'm not saying I'm going to get, hearing aids yet, but I want to have like a baseline test for that. So that'll be in the next couple weeks. Getting this off my chest. So I'm on a healing journey. This will be called Healing Chronicles. I will talk about all my little ailments. I will encourage you as a viewer and fellow human to take care of your health, to overcome your fears. Like, I have a fear of doctors. I have a fear of dying. I have a fear of pain and suffering. And knowledge is power. So once you get over that hump and you go for it and you get your test, you get your examination, you know what you're dealing with, then you come up with a plan. So I'm still developing my plan, but getting this off my chest is part of the plan, and helping you by sharing my story is also part of the plan. We're all in this together. We're all trying to be humans. We're trying to enjoy our lives and live a long, healthy and happy life. Healthy and happy life. And I wish you all the best. I hope you have an enjoyable Sunday and every day of the week. All right, take care.